December. This is actually going to be technically our November podcast. I don't know what's going on.
There was weather and delays, so that way today is actually December, but it's November 14th.
Yes, and because it's just because the holidays and Thanksgiving and such stuff.
I feel like I'm leaning toward June. I don't know.
Well, lean in. So let's introduce ourselves so you understand who's going crazy in front of you. I'm Leighton. You can find me on social media as Zella318.
I'm Tandy. I am on Instagram and Ravelry as Transleigh, Trandleigh. And my Instagram little avatar thing is just round out with white squiggly lines on it. I feel like I should change that. Because I started Instagram when I was following a pretty much a fountain pen company. And so I was like, I'll use my fountain pen to doodle something for my little icon, and I want to call it my Ravatar, but
yeah,
Instagatar.
Yeah, mine is me in my with my eyebrow sticker on.
Yeah, I mean you've changed yours a couple of times.
Yeah, it's been. Mine gets changed every so often, and it should never. And I try and make sure it's me and not the cat. The cat has his own.
Yep.
So we are drinking out of festive mugs today, though. Okay, there's a big glare because the windows are open. But mine is Dear Santa, It's a Long Story. And I might have coerced someone into using her mug, which I grabbed for her. Yeah.
It's
Lama.
Lama.
And it's a light blue.
It's a good sized mug, and it feels very sturdy and
yeah,
steady.
Target has good mugs.
Nice. I'll have to check them out. Yeah. I saw the llama, and an early thought was llama duck.
So I'm drinking just some regular British breakfast tea. My normal wake up from a massive tea purchase over Black Friday.
I saw the display, and it's very nicely lined up, tins and boxes, and
yes. And the current one, it's Assam tea, black tea, but it's in the commemorative tin for Meghan and Harry's wedding. Because I am that person. So, on to knitting content rather than us being random?
Or the contents of my cup?
Oh, that works too, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mine's a liquid and I'm sipping it.
Yeah.
There's a coffee shop here in Columbia that makes a London fog latte. And I don't live locally enough to get it frequently. So I decided I was going to make one at home. And it's tea, warmed, steeped frothy milk. And I also threw in a little vanilla and a little sugar, so it's milky sweet tea, but it's good. When I made it this morning, it was a lot frothier, the milk was, and now it's just warm milky tea. But it's good.
That's caffeine.
And it tastes good.
Mm-hmm. So, finished objects?
Okay.
So, I have 3 comments.
I have 1.
Okay. I'll start this one.
Okay. I was gathering things up today, and I'm like, I think it might be the Leighton show, but I'm fine with that.
It usually is. But I also... I think when I travel, I get a lot of singular knitting time, and when I was on the road, so over Thanksgiving we went to a little town close, like St. Charles, which is where Lewis and Clark started their adventures.
It's St. Louis metropolitan area, but east side of it. I'm sorry, west side of it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's past the river. Just past the river.
It's if you're in St. Louis City, and then you're heading west in the general direction of Kansas City. To me, St. Charles is kind of the last of St. Louis.
Yeah. So I got some knitting done in the car, but Not a lot. I did get a lot of knitting done while we were here. It's just like, okay, I'm actually, mom's cooking dinner, dad's going and doing stuff with knit some. However, these were finished well before that. Last podcast I said that I was going to do a shawl for Wands Up for Dumbledore for the Harry Potter, for the O-Loops Harry Potter knit-along for the November challenge. Well, one of the other shawls got cranky that I was working on a different shawl, and I stopped being able to work on that. And so I decided, just for time and my sanity, to switch to socks. So these are the Socks for Dumbledore socks, and that pattern is by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. And it has this, take them off so you can see the pattern.
The body of the sock is kind of, it's pretty. I like it. I like all the colors of the heel and the cuffs.
Toasted. So the main body color, it is all the Irish Girls Adorn sock, either in a sock Adorn or Adorn Luxe. I don't remember which one. But the gray-ish color is Second Star to the right. And then the crazy multicolors are Comme de la Crème.
Reminds me of like jumbled up candy bowl of Skittles that somebody has at work.
So they fit the description because they were Dumbledore, and even though they didn't fit the yardage requirement, we were going to pass because if you bought a pre-cut kit, you were going to pass because that was the only time you could buy the sock pattern. And so because it was part of the kit, it was a perk that I didn't have to meet yardage requirements.
Nice.
So I didn't have to go to 400.
And that was a concern of yours that you were concerned with meeting the minimum yardage requirement.
Yeah. So I didn't have to meet it.
Yay!
Even though, like, I did a very long cuff on. I did a very long body of a sock, and I really like them. They're nice and squishy. Basically, this is what the going sock was made for. I'm happy with them.
They look really good. Really nice. I'm wearing, like, pin knit socks today, but only just, the cuff is like this tall. Just enough for your ankle bone. Which is not pleasant today because it's chilly outside and my ankles are cold.
It was. We'll give you a weather report.
It's cold. It's windy.
It's cold, windy, and wet.
Yes.
So it's just...
I had a branch down in my yard and water in the basement.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then I saw the field. There's a certain field, and if there's water in that field, I have water in the basement, and it's not even worth trying to vacuum out because it comes in as quickly as I can vacuum it. So it's been kind of unpleasant.
Can we do one more?
One more? I think you also do a better job of come home, sit, and just knit intensely and very diligently on whatever it is you're working on. And I have realized I have a habit of, I go home and I do anything but knitting. So I take a very long time to do anything, which I'm trying to...
Well, and I take it to work, too. I just, it really, like... I think we've pretty much hinted that I have a fairly stressful job, and that I take knitting to work with me to kind of relieve the stress during the middle of the day, and that when I come home, it's what de-stresses me. Like, there's only, like, Izzy here. Surprises and surprises. That it's really truly like, it kind of grounds me because the cat will come over, sit on my lap. I can knit, I can just focus, like, I can actually feel productive in that way. Whereas, like, with work, some days I just feel like I'm screaming. So, you've seen the sock before. It is the Clark Socks by Jacqueline Salem. But there are two of them! So something happened on our part, and we're coming back.
Yes.
So, again, the Clark Socks by Jacqueline Salem of Brooklyn Knit Folk, and these are for my mom, for her, so that we can wear them So we have matching socks to wear during Christmas Eve dinner.
I've forgotten. Are they identical yarn and pattern, or
Identical pattern, similar yarn.
okay? Because red socks were very familiar.
Same pattern, similar yarn, not the same yarn because it's same. Mine are O'Roof's Sport Poinsettia colorway, and these are Queensland Rustic Tweed.
Okay. I can really see the tweedy
Yeah,
bits
tweedy.
and flecks in it.
Yeah, but it's
almost like if you made a red velvet confetti cake.
basically, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And there's like all kinds of fiber in it. It's merino, alpaca, and nylon and viscose.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I think the viscose is like the little tweed parts of it, but it doesn't feel like it has alpaca in it. It's really nice and sturdy, and it doesn't have like it holds its shape, whereas alpaca sometimes.
Yeah.
Alpaca's great. It's just sometimes doesn't hold its shape correctly. I finished those, and there's a little detail on the back. I made sure because I was like, all right, I'm determined to get these done before the end of November, and I was able to do it.
I like it.
You want to do something more? Put the next sock on
Okay,
the floor?
I have finished something. I actually finished it a while ago. I have a pair of mittens. They're adult size mittens. And Tanis Fiber Arts orange label. And the color is tartan. I found a free pattern for half fingered gloves somewhere on Ravelry, and I started with that, and I got ambitious maybe. I decided I'm going to see if I can knit a pair of gloves with full fingers without cutting the yarn. So it took some thinking and some working, and I finally did it. I had gloves, and I put them on, and they didn't fit. I wasn't happy with them, and I said I'm going to redo them. So I frogged it back down to where the base of the fingers, and I decided I just wanted to knit mittens and get something warm for winter. And this was actually last winter when I decided mittens, and so the mittens went knitted up very quickly. And one thing I did was I had the consistent number of stitches until about the top of my pinky finger, and I cast off a couple to tuck it in a little so I wouldn't have so much loose fabric there. And they just stayed honestly tucked up into a slouchy top of a slouchy hat, and they were nice to use getting into the cold car in the morning, or just walking from the work to car or whatnot. They're just kind of nice to have a loose, comfortable pair of mittens for winter. Mm-hmm. I like them.
Next one, I think you guys have seen before. I don't know.
I think we've seen a sock, or it's been in progress.
There's been a sock, and there's been an in progress sock because I needed needles. I finished it because I needed the needles.
I think these with green teacup.
Yes. I've eaten eraser. I do not remember this. It's Nina Phillip. It's Nina Phillip in the Wanderlust Sock Club. This is the March pattern. This is the first one I finished in March. This is the second one I finished last week. Because I needed the size 1 for other socks for this week. And so this is, the colorway is Skelegro by Dragonwood Fibers. I think this is her Dragon Scales base, which has probably been changed, the name of something else. Because I bought it over a half ago, I think. And I have not seen this color since. This is back when she actually sold on Etsy, not on her own site. But I like it a lot.
It's fun.
So I just finally got them done.
Yay!
Those are my kind of shop decks for this month. All the socks as always. 3 pairs of socks in 1 month.
That's impressive.
1 was a long-term, 2 were long-term socks, but still.
In progress?
Yep.
I have it in progress.
Woo!
I've mentioned working on socks for my dad before, and I have progress. I mentioned that I've had a habit of coming home and not doing anything but knitting for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I've been doing better. I've been more disciplined at come home, do whatever I need to on the to-do list, and then sit down and just knit. And so my preference is to use double points and to do kind of toe on one, toe on the other, heel on one, heel on the other. And so I got the heels, sorry, I have the toes done on both of these. There I am. I'm having a very difficult time today with left and rights and ups and downs. But I'm using the Fish Lips Kiss heel, so I have the foot cut out, and I have what would be enough for a mitten for myself. But
So you're not halfway there?
I have a good chunk to go, but one person saw I was knitting and asked what I was doing, and I said I'm knitting a pair of socks, or I'm knitting a sock, and they said, are you going to do the second one, or does the person only have one leg? And so I pulled out the other one, and I said, well, I've made toes of two. But I'm using double zero needles. I don't remember the millimeter size on those. And it's just, I cast on, I think 33 with Judy's Magic Cast On, and then just every other row increased until I got enough to follow the Fish Lips Kiss heel directions. When I do it for myself, and then my mom is such a close enough size that I was able to kind of try on as I go, and these just have hope.
Yeah,
the yarn is, I wrote it down, Shopple Wool Das Par, and it was packaged together like a mustache yarn is. You unwrap it, unwind it, and you have 2 loops of your yarn that match striping. Which is kind of fun when you encounter people, or people get impressed by the color work of them. And they're like, did you do it? You know what, with all that yarn, and how do you do it? And I pull out the ball of yarn and I say, I paid money. Yeah. So those are coming along hopefully for Christmas this year, which will make them a year late.
Well, going on the knitting for parents thing, I can do themes.
Yes.
I'm probably the one that does the themes the most.
I was going to say, here's another big surprise. There are themes.
And I remember where we are. I've had already like a big thing of iced tea today. I've had more tea. But it was a late night. So these are socks, my mom's Christmas socks. She thought she was just getting the red ones that I'd been having to try on and show her. I'm like, no, those were a known quantity. You're not going to get to see your Christmas socks. So this is the Rhinebeck is Calling pattern by the K of the Baby Sock Lady podcast. And I am at the point where I need to put in the heel, and the yarn is Evil Little Goat on the Troubled Waters, in Troubled Waters colorway, and it is her Swishy Goat 100% Merino 4-ply.
The pattern has an interesting, I'm liking the texture on the sock.
Yeah, it's really lovely. And it's like breaking up colors and everything.
And it doesn't look like it's all the way around like a rib or all. It's almost like columns of texture.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is almost like having a stockinette sock almost. It's a 4-row repeat that's really easy to memorize. And I've just been working on it, and now I'm at the point where I can put in the heel and then do 22 repeats in a toe.
Sounds good.
I messaged her and I was like, my gauge has been pretty consistent lately on sock weight size zeros. that it's basically for rows, it's 16 rows to an inch. And so I'm actually able to calculate things, and one of the projects you'll see in a minute heavily relies on the fact that I'm actually getting fairly consistent gauge for everything with all the types of yarns on size zeros. So, how many other works in progress?
This is my other work in progress, but I got a story.
That works.
That works. I went to the dentist the other day with I'm having difficulty. Can you squeeze me in? And so at one point it ended up being we're gonna have to work on your teeth today. So it was the numbing stuff and give a little time for that to work kicked in, and another step and a little time for that to kick in, and so on and so forth. And at first I was like, okay, I'll just sit here and wait patiently. And then I thought, I have Christmas coming up and my socks are in that chair 2 feet away from me. So I picked up my socks and got to work. And at one point I hear out from behind me one of the nice folks going, you're knitting here? And I said, yes, I have Christmas coming up. So I got maybe a half inch total from the time I walked in to when I walked out. And at one point the dentist was approaching and I saw him, he was ready to work. And so I just quickly threw my sock into the project bag, and I was going to set it back in the chair completely out of the way, but nope, we're getting to business. And so I had my tooth worked on with my project bag on my shit sitting on my shins. And so I had to stay still or else my socks will go flying if I jerk or something or other. And so yep, it was an interesting day.
So it's 4 sock projects and a shawl.
It's the sock show.
Oh God, is it ever? These are a Christmas present for. There's purple in this. I swear there is purple in this.
There is purple.
It's absolutely like a variegated purple blue. It almost reminds me of Vishnu from Madeline Tosh.
Off the top of my head, I'm not recalling it, but I would completely buy that being a Madeline Tosh.
I have a scan of Vishnu. I'll show you after the podcast. It's almost a dead duplicate of it.
Yeah,
which is gorgeous.
Up close, it's easy to see the purples and the blue and the real pretty colors. But from a distance, yeah, it kind of blends in together.
Yeah, which is what and it's just getting, the purple is being washed out. So yeah, you're just getting this blue color. There's actual depth to this. And the pattern is the London Bee Ridge Socks by Neil Phillip, the mini expat. And I'm at the heel on this too. So I just need to pop in 2 heels and get to work. And then 26 little ridges. 26 little ridges later. Put it in a tub. But I had promised Cassidy that I was going to make her a hat with colorwork hat with all the Hamilton stuff. I decided socks were easier, considering at the time I switched to socks, I was looking at 3 weeks in a row to travel.
Yeah.
So I knew I could get a pair. I knew I could crank out some socks.
Was it your October socks you did in 8 days?
Yeah, and I think that the November socks were done in 10. Wow. Yeah. So I can crank out a pair of socks pretty quickly. My mom's socks are living in my Hermione bag. I always forget to do this. And then this is a little contentious because Cassidy went to IU, Indiana University. I went to Ohio State. They're living in my Ohio State bag. And they're also blue, and there were games in November where I couldn't be associated with blue.
Strong school loyalties and rivalries.
Yeah. Nothing else really stuck. Like, not a lot of other stuff from Ohio State stuck. But certain things did. It is funny what did stick. It's like, but I was also good friends with people in like men's glee, and so I heard the school songs all the time. And then like, there's just that nostalgia of like being with those people rather than like the school in general. Because it's changed so much since I graduated.
Okay. I guess you want me to see what stuff is living in?
Sure.
Why not? We're here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about anything and everything.
There's 2 more pairs of socks and a shawl.
I'm gonna talk then because I want a little bit of a turn.
Yes. Go
All
ahead.
right. Fringe field bags, very popular. They are pricey, and that was a big. I don't know if I want one. I think I talked about fringe bags before, but I've got a fringe field bag, and this is the gray color, I believe. Yes, this is gray. Drawstring top, which I like. And I got it for, I could fit a knitting project in it, but then I could also fit in like a cell phone and odds and ends, chapstick or pens and random papers. And it's, if I go out with friends, it works for, oh, here, hold my phone while I use the restroom or something like that. So they could just drop it in here and I can keep an eye on it, but it's got a sturdy strap on it, so I can easily pick it up and go if I want to. But it's a nice size. I've been pleased with the quality of the materials and the workmanship, but it is a chunk of money. And then I also have one of the French companies, quarter bin, which is just a rectangular canvas bucket, which I have found works well for like around the house. If I want to just put the big balls for the sweater in there. But the handles are on either side of it. Everything fell. I apologize for that. But the handles are on the far sides of it, so you can't really grab it easily with one hand. I'm finding if you pack it full. So it's more of pick up with two hands and carry. Mm-hmm. So it's more of just, I leave it sitting in the living room and put stuff in it, and then when I'm walking away from it to keep the cats out of it, I'll put like a piece of cloth or something over the top of it. But it's also of a similar quality material and workmanship, I think. Mm-hmm. And it's also pricey, but I'll go for it. And it looked like if I regretted my purchase, I would be able to find somebody to buy it from me if I wanted to.
So, I'm going to break up the sock talk with the shawl.
Oh my goodness.
So, you guys have been seeing the full moon, full circle, half, full moon. I'm going to call it a full moon oracle because this one's the half. Yeah. She got pregnant. I don't know what happened to her. And yes, she is a she. She's very temperamental, and I will get back to her eventually, but it got to the point that my stitch count was off. Somehow, some way, and when it was 500 plus stitches, I was not in any kind of frame of mind to deal with it. And since it's supposed to be for Owl Project, for the Harry Potter knit-along, and it has to be done by December 31st, I knew I was not going to be able to deal with it and finish it. And I really wanted to be able to finish this Owl Project.
Yeah.
So I picked up different yarns and I'm working on the half moon. So the top one is a Hedgehog Fibers of some make model that was gifted to me when it was wound up. And so I have no clue what it is.
But it's a fingering weight.
It's a fingering weight. All of these are fingering weight. Then there is a purple, dark purple. It is a Malabrigo sock. And I got rid of that tag a long time ago. This is one that I had for a while. And then Chain Fiber Arts, and I think I have that tag. It would surprise me if I did, but no, because I actually, and I do not. That is the story of this project right now, is that it's sort of the backup, but it's a backup that's making me happy because I got to the problem point, the point where I was having problems on the full size one, the full circle, and I am now not having problems.
So that's good.
It's a lot crazier than the other one. The other one is subdued, and this one's more my colors, more my insanity. So,
oh, I was gonna say flip it so that you show off the purple on its side. So.
This is the wrong side.
So yeah, on the I guess,
Right side, wrong.
yeah, you get the wrong side. It looks purple,
Dominant, yeah.
dominant, and with the flecks of the colorful shining through.
Yep. So, and it is living in my cowboy Christmas bag. You think I'm good? It's my cowboy Christmas bag. This is one I made. They're white polka dots, green polka dots on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably my favorite Christmas bag because I've only one and I don't know that I have the fabric to make another one. And it just, my family's from Texas. It's really, it's a homey feeling to me. This, even though it's very obvious that this is probably more like Montana than Texas.
It's still a cowboy.
It's still cowboys, yeah. Alright. One of these projects has barely been started, like I just cast on this morning.
I almost cast something on the other day, but I was like, nope, I've got Christmas coming up, I need to behave.
This is the December main challenge project, so.
Yes. Important. You just cast it on today? You're a day late.
I know, but I had things yesterday.
Yes, true.
And I was playing catch up with my advent socks, which you'll see in a moment.
1st of October, or the end of September, she was waiting until the midnight of October 1st to cast on because she was so excited.
Yes. And I'm not even going to show you what I cast on. It is literally the cast on. But it is this, but it will be so it's supposed to be the Half-Blood Prince because it's the 6th year, and so we have to do something dedicated to Snape. Well, he makes, the first book, he like makes all this big monologue about none of that waving wands and incantation stuff. And then he goes on to teach Defense Against the Dark Arts in the 6th book, which you have to know spells for, so incantations.
So he's now teaching the wave wanding that
the wand waving that he was derisive of, yes. And so I am doing the incantation socks by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bear podcast. That's what they look like. I had started these before, and had been on DPNs. I was not happy with them. In this yarn, I had started these socks over a year ago, and I had just not worked on them. I had gotten like that much done, and so I just was like, okay, these work for it. I love this colorway. I'm going to love it because there's merino, there's cashmere in this, and other socks I'm working on are much harsher on my hands. They're not bad yarns. They're going to wear like iron. I know this, but I also, if I'm not drinking enough water, can split my thumb open, and so
maybe that's what I did.
I split my.
I had right before Thanksgiving, I had a split on my thumb, and so making food and washing dishes and then sock knitting hurt like a dickin'.
Well, see, my thumb is split along the ridges in my fingerprints. It's weird.
That is odd.
But they'll split along those lines that have already been there. But so the cashmere is something that my hands are maybe needed.
Yes.
So this colorway, it's called Salt and Burn.
I like it.
It is a supernatural colorway by Fresh from the Cauldron.
And you also enjoy supernatural.
I do. I really do. So like there's just everything going on.
I've been eyeing Fresh from the Cauldron for a bit. There's like a potential to buy from. I
got this through Eve, but okay. I know her site is fairly, like her shop on Etsy is also fairly good because a good friend of ours who colors her hair crazy colors has bought from her and like really likes her. We don't know if our friend would feel okay with us naming her, but that's a way of like knowing who you are.
I was in the parking lot of a restaurant one day, and she said, "Oh, look who's here!" And I look through the window and I see the colorful hair, and I'm like, "Oh, neat!"
So, as always, as for all the other projects of socks, it is living in my custom customized by the Bay Yarn Company bag. It was customized for me by a swap partner.
Is it the Maddie bag?
Yes.
From the bag? Okay.
Yeah. Which is basically the knockoff of the French Field bags.
Yeah. I was like, take my money and run, and you were, I'm going to get bag and yarn.
Well, it was more of a...
Because you have more than just this one Maddie bag.
Yeah, I have... And they also come in different sizes, I think was also what I liked about it, too. Because this, I think... Yeah, this is the smallest size. This is the medium size. I have a large one, and then it comes in extra large. And so I liked that part of it, where it's like, okay, it can suit whatever I need, rather than this holds all the things all the time.
Yeah.
And so, and also price point was a significant factor for me too. But this is probably my most used bag now.
You really like it. You were very excited when you got it.
Yeah, like I was absolutely speechless when I got it. So that's that one. Those are those socks. Literally just cast on while I was waiting for Panera line because people were slow.
Yep.
Because it's Sunday and children are running Panera. Well, it's true.
They're not in school, so they're
like,
yeah.
And it's why when I go to the grocery store on Sunday morning, if I'm like buying anything that requires me to be 21 and above, I go through the alcohol line because children are running the regular registers. Or in the evenings, if we're going over to a friend's house in Jeff, like after work, Jefferson City, where we both work in Shiro's, and we go to the store and we get beer or anything, we always know that we're like, okay, manager, stick with us because we're all getting stuff and because we're all under 18.
Yeah, you look for, honestly, you look for an old a cashier who looks like they don't need to get carded themselves.
Yeah. So, because if not, they have to call over the manager.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, and it's great that they have after-school jobs, and there's nothing, I'm not complaining about it, I'm just saying that this is a factor in our lives.
And if you're in the line to check out and they notice that you have something, they'll tell you, I'll have to call the manager, or that other line can serve you right now. Yeah. So they try to keep an eye on it and give you options.
Yeah, but there's usually at least 3 or 4 of us right in a row. Like,
yeah,
we may or may not have stuff. All have stuff, but we'll have,
yeah.
But poor manager on last Thursday. It was one manager for all of the children. Bouncy back and forth on a Thursday night.
That's
so, I was able to purchase the Old Hoops Advent calendar. I think I talked about this on I know that no matter what, I was going to love it. Like, I think you spoke about it when you had purchased it,
because you had to purchase it at some point over the summertime.
Yeah. And so, I opened up my first one yesterday, and I put on. So I prepped by knitting the cuffs. The cuffs are La Jolla or Ba Yarns La Jolla base in the faded blue jeans colorway. It's just this icy blue, really icy blue. So I have 2 of them, and so the stripe that I put on is the Yuletide colorway on the Ascot base. So I put in 8 rows of that, and then I'm going to make a little stocking ornament out of the rest of it. And so now I have today's color, which is Holiday Wreath, or Winter Wreath. I'm really bad. And I need to put that on. So 8 stitches, a little stock, and then what is ever left over, I think will be put into that new blanket that's roaming around Ravelry, the new scrappy blanket. So this should be a lot of fun.
Yep.
They're cute. And this is why I needed to have the other socks finished, because I needed 2 pairs of open size zeros because I wanted to do these concurrently, not finish one then do
Yeah, because of the way you're doing it, you needed a lot. So you really do it 2 at a time of whatever form of needles you chose.
Yeah. So, and that is living again in a By the Bay Yarn Co. Maddie bag. This one, it's canvas on the inside, and then she just put the Southern fabric on the outside. So it's still that heavy duty.
I was wondering.
Heavy duty canvas on the inside, but the pocket on the inside is made out of the fabric. So
I like it.
Yep. So that's. I don't have planning. Do you?
I have a little bit of planning.
Yeah.
Or continued planning. I think previously I've mentioned using Blue Moon Fiber Arts BFL Sport in the Final Frontier colorway that was exclusive to Eat Sleep Knits shop last year, I think it was. Anyway, so I'm using it to try to make 2 sweaters, one for mom, one for dad. Very knit-worthy people. And I've done 2 gauge swatches so far to figure out. Well, one of them was done back and forth, and then I switched to double points and I knit it in a tube, and I steeped it, just cut it open to see if I got a difference in my row gauge for back and forth knit purl versus knit every round, and I didn't. To me, if there was a difference, it was small enough I didn't notice it. And in my initial swatch, I wore down my sweater and my shirt to see how I liked it against my skin for a few days. And my swatch, after I washed it and dried it and blocked it as I would the sweater, I wasn't quite getting it exactly, so I thought, oh, I'll try it again. And the first thing you knit for Tin Can Knits Playdate cardigan is 2 pockets. And the pocket ends up being like 5 inches by 5 inches, I think, or something like that. So I thought that would work for another swatch, but if it comes out to gauge, I'll use that as the pocket. And so I have, this is now the size 5 on to the pocket flap, and I blocked it last night, but I haven't measured it yet. But I like the material it gave me. I was worried it would be too loose and open and not really decent for a sweater, but I like it. So I think hopefully size 5 will work. And that's my planning.
Yeah, all of my planning right now, all I see is Christmas. Christmas Eve cast on is a thing that will happen, probably, if I'm not just absorbed in other projects. But that also means I take a moment on Christmas Eve to sit down and knit, because that's our big day of things day. So, do you have any stash?
I bought something.
Yay! Because everything I've bought is either not here yet or is out of the challenges, and that doesn't really. I don't have anything big. I've been doing other stuff. I was like
the actual purchasing of your Advent we discussed previously.
Yeah, so it's
I did buy one thing on Black Friday, but I have not gotten the shipping notice yet.
I bought ornaments, but that's not really knitting related.
I bought yarn. I was like, I have 4 colors and I needed a 5th, so I ended up buying 2 or 3 colors that might work for it, but I haven't gotten a shipping notice, and so I'm just anxiously waiting so I can decide what color to use. But my purchase I have made on Halloween, October 31st, the Buffalo Wool Company has done, since I found out about Buffalo Wool Company, they have done their trick-or-treat yarn sale. And through the year they collect the suck-ins, or the misdyed, or too many knots, or ends, or whatnot. The ones that they can't sell at perfect full price, they put in a bin. And then on Halloween they throw in the same number of good full price skeins of yarn, and they have a sale. They call it Trick or Treat. You're getting yarn. You don't know if it's going to be a good skein or bad, but it was like $10 plus shipping added on, and so it was with after shipping, it was $12 or $13. I think I wasn't. I'm like, I'll go for that. And this year they had like 200 units from Blue Moon Fiber Arts. And they said, these are all treats. No duds with this, no tricks. Just all treats, but you don't know if you're going to get one thing of sock or a full ingredient set. Which is luck of the draw there, but it's all going to be treats. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try for one of each this year. So my Buffalo Wool Trick or Treat ended up being, I guess you could call it a trick, because it is one of their odd ends that they couldn't. It's a short ski that is 39 grams instead of 50, but it's their earth base, which is all buffalo down. So it's soft. Yeah, now I want to say it. Now I want like the whole sweater of just the earth. So it's soft and squishy, and there's none of the coarser guard hairs. And so it's just brown decadence. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to just take it to work and just squish it. Just squish it. Like,
yeah.
And then from the Blue Moon purchase, I got Super Sparkle, and it's 92% superwash wool and 8% Lurex, and the color Raven, and it's sparkly.
It's sparkly, but it's also not just pure black either.
It's black and kind of a dark green. Mm-hmm. It's pretty, and it's what is it? 400 yards of fingering weight. So I was pleased with those purchases.
So, yeah, I have kind of been oddly on a yarn diet, but not really. I haven't felt like it's been a yarn diet. It's just like, oh, the stuff that I bought isn't here yet, and you can't see it.
Yeah, so I just had a home repair, and then I've also been eyeing Christmas.
Yeah. I was just not.
So I feel like we're happy with. For me, I'm happy with what I have,
mm-hmm.
and I'm also aware of I do have constraints that I used to not have when I started.
Yeah, and I just am like, okay. Like, part of me is like, ooh, I really, really want that, and part of me is like, I kind of need to get person stuff first. Like, I'm not like in that must buy right now. So. I also think the fact that I have advent calendars like everywhere in my house right now is helping a lot with like this, ooh, I need to go buy something thing, where it's like, oh no, I can just wait till tomorrow morning and I get a new present.
Yeah.
So I think that's really helping right now to mitigate a lot of like my compulsive buying. But I am like doing evil little elf stuff around my office this year, so that was a significant little chunk there. That was a couple of things yarn. So, but that's cool. See you next time.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.